All right. So good morning, Juan.
Good morning, Corey.
How
How
you
are you
doing?
today?
Doing good. I'm doing good. I seriously am back in this sort of time. I went for a walk with my wife last night, which I really have to do all the time after these days because it's just nuts. And I keep asking her, "Hey, did I tell you about this? No. Did I tell you about this? No." Because like we're having 3 days every day is what it feels like. Life in the fast lane, as it were. So
Yeah,
we got a couple things we want to cover today. If anybody else wants to kind of blow the comments up, obviously we'll bring up whatever is going on. Standing invite. If you're watching us for the first time, if you don't know this, we really want to be platforming any cool projects that are on Wax. Very much if they're on Nefty blocks, but not exclusively. We also want to talk to any meme tokens that are on Sol, any projects that are on Sol. Like now that that bridge is live, like we want to talk to anybody who's considering bridging. We're just getting to this point where we would really like to have a guest every single day. We were supposed to have, we're supposed to have Scron from the Ant Colony on today. Unfortunately, he has to take care of his dad and some stuff today. So like hopefully he's gonna be okay, all that kind of stuff. So but I do have the Ant Colony has like this crazy venue up on Taco, and I don't know anything. Like I think I bought a few venues last cycle, and I think during the middle of the bear like sold them because they were like still
hmm
worth a lot, and now I know why. And I should not have sold probably. But yeah, the Ant Colony, is basically like a kind of gamer community in Wax or whatever. Bull Shipples is big in it. Scron's been a friend of mine since pretty early on in the last bull cycle, and yeah, they're just a really cool group, and they've built this venue up so that it's really good, and you can win some uplift prizes and some triple prizes and blah 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 blah. So it's fun. So we'll get into that later on. TC, good morning. How are you doing? I feel like almost every day I should probably thank TC for telling me about Keck early.
Yes,
Oh,
definitely.
what's hilarious? Piga from I think Pixel Journey, um, who actually just sent me a novel. He's got a bunch of opinions why Wax market cap is so low, and he basically gave me a novel. It was amazing, and I just saw it in the Keck channel right now. So I put it into a Google Doc so I didn't lose it. So thank you for that. I haven't read it yet. We're gonna get into that, and also please come on the show. But yeah, like the Soul Wax Bridge is going to be completely and totally insane, and I don't know what that's going to look like. Like I don't know what's going to happen,
Yeah, I think it's really unpredictable.
right?
Um, and yeah, I think it's very exciting times, but we don't really know how will this go because it might be amazing. We have a lot of newcomers to Wax, or uh, or not. And if not, that would be very disappointing.
So I was thinking about that because I completely agree, right? I think the only thing that I'm wondering is, well, and really, okay, so I'm kind of of two minds about it, right? Like I want to know which way the tide is going, and then I want to go, or which way the wind is blowing, and then I want to go with the wind, right? It just makes sense.
hmm
And so figuring out where the capital flows are going is sort of an interesting way to gauge that. Now, let's put that aside for a minute. As people who build in this space, I want to build from the assumption that it's going to be categorically amazing, right? Let's assume
Absolutely.
that the Wax market cap goes from 10x to 20x to 30x, right? Right now, it's like 300 times 300x to get to Sol's market cap, right? We don't need a lot of that to just be absolutely absurdly well positioned right now. So let's assume that it's going to do good, right? And yes, there's lots of things in the way, blah, 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 blah. We need money to come here. Yes, all those things. Not that Juan and I have been talking about this all morning, but we have. I want to come from this position of we've 50x on Wax, right? What were we doing in the beginning, not only to position our projects and our communities and all that kind of stuff to benefit from it, but to help it happen, right? So what are the things that we need to build?
Yeah.
What are the platforms that need to exist? What are the kind of safety measures that need to exist? Sorry, I'm totally Juan and I were literally talking about this all morning, and I've been ranting. But there's going to be other things, right? So like, I want to just personally, I want to be thinking about, okay, we assume this is happening. We assume that Sol people are going to come over here. It's going to create a little wave. And seriously, you look at if the wax chart, starts to go up 45 degrees, everybody's going to come, right? Like that's just, everybody's going to follow the chart because a lot of the people who are going to make all the money on Sol already did, right? So like, what are those people, like Bonk is not going to 10x.
I tend to disagree with what you say.
Go on.
Because not because the wax chart is going up, it means that people are coming to wax. It means that traders are trading wax because it's interesting to trade. But I don't know, I trade Ethereum on a regular basis, but I almost never use Ethereum.
Right. So, I mean,
I have traded Gala, for example, which is another gaming thing, and I have never seen the platform.
Okay, so yeah, no, I think this is an interesting argument because and then that I think it becomes, so just to kind of elaborate on that to see if I understand, I think market makers, the people that swing trade, the people that trade are obviously a huge part of this, right? But if that was just the case, any token, it wouldn't matter that you had a community. It wouldn't matter that you had a platform. It wouldn't matter that there were meme tokens. It could just be any token, right? Those were the ICO days or whatever, right? So like, what's the underpinning of that?
It definitely matters. Your community matters. Everything matters. Right. But I think that's the point. It's not because the wax chart is going up that people will come. People will come because there's an opportunity here, because there's something to do here that you can only do on chain.
Maybe
that's when people come.
Okay, so look back at like when Sol first started, the market started going up, and all it absolutely is why people wailed into it, right? Like when the chart starts kicking up and people start seeing the capacity for a 300x or a 50x, that's when everyone shows up. I guarantee it. Because that's the actual opportunity, right? Like all the possible trading, swing trading, blah, 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 all that volume stuff, you can find that in a lot of different places. But when there's like a dramatic potential for an upside bias on the chart, and right now that doesn't exist, right? Not necessarily. I think like long-term over this bull market, it's still going to look pretty sexy, but does it look like massively, insanely sexy? That's I think a possibility because of just the massive disparity between the ocean of capital that's on Sol and like the frickin' puddle that's on wax right now. I sent this to Juan this morning. Alcy, who's this person is on Twitter, shares a bunch of stuff, keeps sharing stuff about CWIF, which is like cat with hat or whatever.
It's cat with hat.
This timeline is hilarious. Anyway. So I looked at the market cap of that, and it's basically, right in the same ballpark as the market cap for the wax token. And I was just like, that's just like, and they're super stoked because they keep saying, okay, we're, hundreds of times away from dog with hat, right? So like it's, and then they have this little battle between cats and dogs and blah, blah, blah. It's really fun, but that's what everyone's seeing. They're seeing this, market potential of, massive upside gains, not trading liquidity, not the ability to already have people in the markets. Like it needs to, like, I think it really is the chicken and the egg thing, right? Like people need to first see, is there opportunity here? Is the trend going in the right way? And then will people show up?
Yeah.
Now, granted, like you're doing swing trading, and this is, I think it's an interesting conversation, right? So you're looking at it from a position of a swing trader, which I think is not insane at all. And I'm not coming at it from that side, right? But like, which one has to come first? Because I'm not sure that it would be the swing traders.
Well, I think it depends, because there are a lot of swing traders on Solana trading all the meme coins, and they are there. But there are tools that we don't have on Wax. They are there, and they can do it. But here on Wax, we are still missing a lot of those tools that they have.
So what's like as a swing trader, what would be the first tool that you would want to see? And we'll cover some other thing after. I got sort of an interesting timeline question. Hopefully interesting. We'll find out.
Yeah, what I think there should be is market makers, because I think that there are no market makers on chain on Wax.
Okay, so when you say market makers, what do you mean?
Well, there are several market making strategies, but basically market makers are bots where you say, okay, I I will spend 20K per month only on maintaining my token with enough liquidity to be properly traded, and so on. Which is what happens when you list a token on a centralized exchange.
Right.
Most of the time, and yeah, I think all of the time, you hire a market maker, or the exchange will offer you the market making service, and they will ask you, okay, I need from you 20K to constantly place buy orders and sell orders and close the spread and make sure that there is enough liquidity for your token to be tradable. So that's something that, even if you don't think it's needed, it's really needed. And memes are doing that.
Even for sure. Even looking at, starting to look at like our little family of meme tokens. Keck and Shill. This morning, Keck was in the top 10. Whatever, it's nothing. Like we're sort of looking at all this, and we're all sharing liquidity pools, and we're all doing some interesting things. Looking at making sure that there's growing liquidity so that people with larger stacks can come in and take part in it in a way that's meaningful, right? Like we have to bootstrap that. Like it's I think Wax maybe is in the same position, right? It's like somebody with $1 million that wants to buy Wax, like they're going to significantly move the price, or even more, because I mean, imagine that. But like I keep going back to like, so what came first in when Sol was this size, right? Although I'm not sure that it ever was, but when it was really, really small, do you think that market makers were the key, or things like the platform where anyone could launch a meme token, and then like the rug checker thing, which is what between this is like a continuation of the conversation we were having. I think that's some things that I think are
I think something like a rug checker, it's something that comes later, because if you need a rug checker, you need rugs first. So
Wax, the Wax community would say
wait. When you have to check if something is a rug or it's not a rug, you already need a lot of activity, and you need a lot of scams, because there are lots of scams. Then I need a rug checker.
Right. So have you seen the Wax community, the whole bear? That's all they screamed, all day, every day, all the time.
Yeah, but
mostly,
the Wax community,
I would just say mostly me, but
they are requesting this for NFTs, not for coins.
Right. But if this, again, I'm coming back from what does the end look like based on some assumptions are like sort of taken. There's a meme token tsunami that hit Wax, right? This is in the future, where I'm kind of trying to see what that looked like, right? If that's the case, then these things had to happen, right? And somebody's going to build
that. I fully agree.
Okay.
At some point, it has to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what the first thing you need. I think that's something you need once you are I guess like moderately successful.
Fair enough. This is why I'm interested in the chicken and the egg conversation, right? Because what came first? The market makers, or the launch pad for meme tokens, so that anybody could do it, right? And so like you would imagine, okay, I'm gonna do the launch pad thing first, and then like literally every Tom, Dick, and Harry can make a token, and then everybody finds out that like 90% of the tokens are just completely and totally nonsense, and people are rugging, and then they do the rug.
But that, for example, what you just mentioned, I think makes more sense.
Okay,
starting with a launch pad.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with a launchpad that allows you to do fair launches, that allows you to do a lot of things, that is self-service, that it's permissionless, that it's whatever. Yeah. That, I think, that's a must.
That's like the NFT, like that's Atomic Habit Nifty, right? Like I can make my own NFT collection. I don't have to ask anybody. I can just go and do it. Right.
Yeah, do the same for token. That might make sense. Yes, you're making life easy for everyone who wants to launch a token. Right now, you have WaxDAO, and you can create a token without coding. That's already a good step.
Okay.
And you could go to Alcor or to Taco and create a liquidity pool, and your token is immediately tradable. Of course, it might not be considered a fair launch.
Define fair launch.
Well, a fair launch is something where everybody has the same chances of getting a token at relatively or the same price. That's something that you won't be able to do in these conditions, because if your pool is too small, the first buyers will really get a much better price than the people who's coming.
Those are IDOs, right? And like the initial DEX offerings where it's on like one-sided, I think are pretty common, right?
Yeah, I think they are more and more common. Yeah.
Right? Like, and if you get lucky, you get lucky. Like, that's why there's some people that are getting into these meme tokens early with like $30 and going bananas. And that's like, I'm likening this back to Keck, right? Because they
But
did like a
I
stealth
don't
one,
know.
which I've never seen before. So I'm sort of
Just,
exploring
just remember, I don't know if you ever went to an IDO on Polka Starter during the previous cycle.
it. Which
They
one?
were Polka Starter on I think that was on which chain was that? I don't even remember. But
Okay.
the thing is, you went there and there was a limited amount of spots, and there were, for example, 1,000 spots, and you
Mhm.
were limited in the amount of tokens that you were able to buy from
Okay.
the IDO. And
Right.
after that, trading started.
Okay, that's interesting. So, I mean, so I guess as example, this stealth launch for Keck, like we found out idiotically early, right? And TC bought like 17 trillion for one wax. That
Yes,
is
that's amazing.
bananas, right? But
Yes.
it's interesting. And so, the Chad's gonna drop, and our friends over at the Martian consortium, whatever. By the way, they're alien PFBs. I just bought too many of them. This is just go find out why that might be a good idea. Honestly, it might be a fucking terrible idea, but I did it. It's funny. So this Chad thing is, so it's going to be like the sort of next iteration of this kind of deflationary token in our little family of weirdos. And my initial thought, because Martian told me about it in DMs, hey, we're thinking about doing this thing or whatever. And my initial take was like, are you going to tell people about the IDO? Because if you do, it's going to get fucking smacked. Right. And now that's kind of the thing. That's kind of where we're at. Right. He's going to announce, I think on Saturday,
Yeah.
what the exact
Saturday
time.
at 5 p.m.
Right. The exact time for the drop is going to be at such a time. Right. And so like, we're all going to be freaking keyboard warning it. You're like, okay, like, how do we smash this? And like, I imagine the pool's just going to fucking like get drunk and fall over on its face. Like, I have no clue what's going to happen. So we're going to find out. Right. And I imagine like some people will get lucky, some people won't. And to me, I remember the NFT hype back in the day, right? Like when you have a bunch of people piling into some things, and some people are going to get lucky, and some people are going to get less lucky. That, I mean, while that was a feature for me, right? And again, like there's some people that started doing it on blocks and like beating everybody to the punch, fine, right? But that kind of hype was interesting. So would that not be in the sort of understanding of how you're thinking about a fair launch, or how you would want to launch a fair launch, right?
Well,
None of this
I
is how
think
we're
that's
thinking
exactly
about
what
doing
it's
ours.
not what is considered a non-fair launch, an unfair launch.
Okay. Or
Yeah.
just like a super fun randomized good luck.
Well,
fairs.
I think it's yeah. I think there's a place for both, but yeah.
Well, and this is the thing, right? I love the fact that we start from like the beginning premise, like welcome to the timeline where meme tokens are a thing, and it's completely bonkers from the start. Cool, right?
Yeah.
So then, and really like the IDO is not going to be the only thing for Chad. He's got a lot of airdrops, blah, 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 blah. Like, I think, worst case scenario, it's going to be fun experiment. We're going to learn a lot, right? Which is sort of my baseline for everything. And yeah, like I prefer, especially the way that we're planning to do our community thing, it's going to be a lot of airdrops, a lot of very intensive community events with our partners, blah, 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 blah. Like we're going to grind shit out of it.
And that one is a fair launch.
Okay. So
because
everybody
you
kind
are
of has the
giving
opportunity.
everybody the same kind of opportunities. You will have to do some work. You might want to spend some money or not, but
Right.
it will be fair in the sense that you will get more depending on the effort that you put or the investment that you're willing to make upfront.
Right. Well, and even if I think, in some respects where you have, if you're a member of, Martian, I don't know if we talked about this yet, but like, if you have aliens, or if you have, ant colony NFTs or whatever, right? You've already participated in the community. Like, there's a good chance that that's actually gonna, work out for you. And then on top of that, there's gonna be all these opportunities to do all this crazy stuff, right?
Well, but that's basically what Wofi did.
Right, that's their baseline, is what inspired us to start thinking about it this way.
Yeah.
We're just like, wait a minute, we could do so much more, which is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting. So okay, so I do understand what you're saying about the sort of, if you were only gonna build one thing, you'd build the launch pad, because that's like, Atomic Hub showing up, and then everybody could build NFTs, and then kind of everything was kind of off to the races, right?
Well, yes and no, because here what you're doing is being able to do IDOs, to create and release new tokens, but you should be able to trade them. And of course, you have Alcor, you have Taco, but I think there's more to it. That there are more features that are needed over there.
Okay, yeah, on the trading side. Well, it's the thing. Like, I don't know anybody that could build an Oracle, which I think is like one of the things, right?
But it's not the Oracle per se, because if you're basing your trades on automatic market makers, then it's okay. You don't need an Oracle because the price will be given by the liquidity pool, so it's okay.
Okay, so when you say more things are needed, then are you just thinking about like more money?
Well, not only more money. Right now, for example, if you go to Alcor, you are able to place a limit order, but only on the market side. You cannot place limit orders on the pools.
Can you do that on pools on Solana?
Huh?
Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of financial stuff. I like CWIF was just talking about doing permanent futures. The cat meme token is doing permanent, like it's a whole other thing, right? Like, so there's a lot of financial engineering stuff that I totally agree.
For perpetuals, you need oracles. That's
different. I was just sort of another example of sort of financial instrumentation or mechanics that are available on Sol that aren't available over here.
Yeah, but on Sol you can place limit orders on liquidity pools. So that's already different, and you cannot do that on Wax.
I bet you $5 that Wax Packet could figure that out.
No. Oh yes, maybe he can. Yes, he should be able to do that.
Yeah, right. Okay, I gotta pause for 1 second. Also, Juan, thank you so much for talking about this stuff. Like, this is honestly, like, again, coming at it from holy shit, Wax just 50x'd. This is the kind of stuff that everybody needs to think about, right? Like that in my humble opinion, and I'm a weirdo, with basketball hair, right? Like, it's just, who cares what I think? But hello, Josh. The Twitter thing. Josh was our first guest, by the way. He's from Apex Conquest. I'm super grateful. And honestly, like, the number of projects that he's got on Apex Conquest now, you should go take a look at it, because you might have NFTs that could be commanders, and they're like, that's worth a considerable amount on there. And what?
And talking of that, the blend for to dress up your Betsy as a as an Apex commander will go live tomorrow. We just have to release it and announce it on our channel, and we will have a lot of packs with troops as rewards. Well, for the first one to eternalize a Betsy, and at the end of the blend, for everyone who has his Betsy's dressed up with some commander attributes, we will make a raffle with another bunch of packs.
That's
all packs of 20 troops.
The troops, all packs of 20 troops. That's awesome. Okay, so I think tomorrow has to be Betsy show. Like,
we can do that.
I think it's time. Because
good. Tomorrow will be Betsy show.
I just started messing around. With it, and like, you guys did that last cycle, and it was really fun. And I'm like, yeah, Betsy. I was like, PFPs can like freaking piss up a rope. I had no clue, and honestly, like, that was to my own detriment, right? I remember a buddy of mine was on Wax. He's got like a big office still in the Uplift. Once we get the servers back on, it's been a fun 24 hours. Anyway, so he was an awesome part of Wax. Has like a little collection over here. He's like an artist, really fun or whatever, right? So about a month goes by, and he's kind of been a little bit quiet. And he calls me up, like, on the phone. Who does that anymore, right? He calls me up on the phone. He's like, Corey, listen. And I've had him on the show that I was doing Jimmy a bunch of time. Or like, we know each other, decently well. He's like, dude, you got to buy one of these Bored Apes. And you guys know what Bored Apes are. And I'm like, what? And it was like, they were $14,000. I'm like, dude, I'm not buying a cartoon for $14,000. It's just not, I can't wrap my head around that. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, but there's this and there's that, and there's going to be community stuff. I'm like, yeah, good story. And then they were worth $2 million.
Yeah.
Christ. And, they come back down, welcome to the market cycle, whatever. But like, goddamn. So I'm just now starting to, and this is, again, I'm stupid. The PFP thing is really interesting. And you guys are way ahead of the game on that. And like, the Betsify Me thing is really fancy, and you can basically get all these accessories and all this kind of stuff. Like, I think it's super undervalued right now, which is why I bought too many of them.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens with Betsy. But I think that there are many other things that will come, and that will be amazing.
I agree. I mean, even just again, like not to drop any alpha before it happens, but I've talked to Juan a bunch of stuff about just some of his ideas about it. If half of them happen, I'm very excited. I have these betsies. It's gonna be good. And again, like Chad's doing it. Like you buy these aliens, or sorry, Martian. You buy these Martians. He's like dropping a significant amount of this new token to them, right? And so if you're already part of his community, you're gonna do really well, right? So like there's all these combinations of things that that are gonna be really good. It was Hustle House. I forgot what his name was. I had the same conversation with Hustle House when they were $175 each. Whew. It's like somebody telling you to buy Bitcoin at like fucking a penny, right? Like it's just,
the friend who introduced me to crypto and blockchain, he told me, Juan, buy Ethereum when it was $8.
Yeah, see,
and I was stupid enough not to do it.
This is the thing, and again, I terminally ill optimist. I have many failings. That's one of my biggest ones. Although some good things happen if you're an insane optimist. Like I can't stop seeing wax like that. I saw it last cycle. I see it this cycle. They keep building cool stuff. Like if it ever has its moment in the sun, everything goes bananas. Like just bananas, right? And we have to get past a bunch of hurdles and we have to build a bunch of stuff. And there are always more shit to build. Fine, right? But you bootstrap from where you're at, not from where you're going to be. And I feel like we're doing it. I feel like we're literally doing that right now. And that's exciting to me. So anyway, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are we talking
about? We're talking about coins on Wax and how the next thing will happen. So
right. I mean, so, and again, like the way we're thinking about it anyway, I see a lot of sort of, well, the people in the Keck community, like Dapper and Martian, and honestly the way Keck has been running liquidity pools and stuff like that. And I mean, Bullshitbles, go watch his episode. Like we talked about nothing else but community development, right? Like these meme coins kind of develop tribal identities, and that tribal identity power was what happened to GameStop, right? It's like that to me. Like I get the trading up and down and the liquidity, all that stuff. Like you want to be able to, like swing traders want that ability to target a price so that they can make 1%, 2%, or whatever. Right now, the swings are so big that like it's not really possible to do that fine and targeting. Concede it, right? But at the same time, if you have an army of psychos, you could do a lot of crazy stuff. Right. And like that's all GameStop was. Like there's no universe where if you'd have told me before GameStop that a bunch of nerds in their basement could short squeeze Wall Street, I would have said you're drunk. And I was wrong. Right. And that's like that power to me is what is behind these meme tokens. Now they get to a certain size and suddenly like a banker with 100 million is like, wait a minute, why don't I buy this meme token as a ridiculous joke and then make 10x? Right. Like it gets to that point where it can get to that point where it can get to that point. But you got to go from 0 to 1 first, and from 1 to 2 the next, and then from 2 to 20 after.
Yes. And I think you cannot achieve that without market makers, because you can buy the 100K, the 1 million. Yeah. But if you don't have market makers making sure that market is healthy, you will lose your investment.
So to me,
that's something we need on Wax.
Right. So I feel like once there's enough volume, I was talking like a buddy of ours in the Uplift community is actually doing some like really basic. I shouldn't say really basic. It might be really complicated. I don't know. He's doing some market making for a company, and he's been sort of having conversations with me about how to try to create healthy markets for the Uplift, and something that I've been obviously thinking about a lot. And again, we're tiny compared to where we're going to be. Never mind that we're number 14 on Wax. Did I mention that we're number 14 on Wax? I might have. I mean, during the bear market, we were like 55, 60, and I was like mortified by that. But at least we're not 118. Inside joke. So, yeah, like that. Figuring out how to make those things, healthy, is important. But I kind of feel like once it gets to certain levels of volume, where a market maker can say, "Wait a minute, I can make money there," right? Mm-hmm. Then why wouldn't anybody who's doing that on any other thing just automatically come in? But first, right, it's got to go from 0 to 1, 1 to 2, and to whatever level they would think is going to be interesting enough to come into there, right? So that to me, it's like that again, like there's stages, right? Like there's rungs on a ladder. So we need to get to, let's say, 5 times this level of market cap or volume, whatever, like that, whatever we're tracking before a company like that's going to be sort of incented to definitely get into this market. Again, that's why like the Launchpad thing makes so much sense to me. Like it just getting to this point where all the people on Sol that are experimenting and having a good time can come over here if they want to and develop over here in like a micro cap environment, basically, right? But linked to NFTs in a way that I think we have a lot of advantages compared to Sol, which again, like that's just like an interesting sort of technical reality. I think my experience on NFTs on Sol is terrible, so I could be wrong with that.
In the end, it's a little bit like penny stocks. There's a lot of people trading penny stocks in the US, and they are making money. So it's the same with the micro caps or whatever. You can make money basically anywhere as long as you have the right tools and the right strategies.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like and yay for everybody. I mean, I'm talking to swing traders on all the time now that are doing decently well with the tokens that are on Wax, and ultimately, like those people are kind of market makers, right? The only difference, of course,
to some extent, they are.
They can smash your shit if they buy too much of your token, temporarily, of course. So. Yeah, no, it's gonna be interesting. We're having more conversations about this stuff all the time. I think there's gonna be we know there's gonna be some experimentation. The chat's gonna drop pretty soon. We're gonna see how that goes. Who knows? So yeah, that's gonna be fun. Okay. Josh is saying I made plenty of mistakes in crypto, but at least I took one piece of good advice. I bought a Gala founders node at 5K 3 years ago. I don't even know what is that. Do you know what that is?
Oof. Gala, it's another gaming token over there and a gaming platform. And I was trading Gala somewhere last year, and it was very, very profitable at that time.
Well, yeehaw. Yep. I do want to give. So Ken was messaging me. That's why I kept looking over here laughing yesterday. Go ahead.
But what's funny about Gala? First, I traded it, and long time after, I learned what it was. And that's how I tell you that how I say why I say it doesn't really matter. You look at the chart and you don't care about the fundamentals.
For you, right? Like, I think we're talking about two different sort of archetypes of human being here, right?
Yes, but on the other hand, if you think about that, when I started investing in Wax during the previous cycle, it's because of the number of users. Because I thought, number of users should be a good metric to tell me if this is going to be successful or not.
Yeah.
I don't know if Gala has even released something, but trading has been way more profitable than Wax.
Honestly, like I come back. What's the first thing that I do? Start developing in the metaverse? No. The Lithium token.
Yes, Gala Games.
Because that's like it really does. And for I'm working backwards from I think there's going to be a lot of token frenzy anyway, right? So we've got this thing, we've got a lot of interesting mining, blah 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 blah, right? But and this is proven true. The healthier that the lithium markets get, everything else is then more valuable, like right off the bat, right? So like as far as like bootstrapping, where I'm the only guy in the office, it made sense. Like I'm glad that we went that direction. But it's true. I mean, you remember the ICO days. Right, the ICO days, people would like put up a white paper that said we are the most amazing bloody fucking blah blah blah, and then they'd get $100 million. It's just like, okay, stop. You know what's really messed up, and this is a totally different.
And they started running $100 million and disappear.
Yeah.
That's,
you want to talk
absolutely,
dude? Anybody that wasn't in the ICO days, God, we're so old. It was the Wild West of holy crap. Like it was nuts. And people just were just unstoppable on it. It was completely insane. And anyway, so crap, what the fuck was I gonna say? It must have been real important. Anyway, it's gone. Squirrel. Oh man, I think it was good, but who knows? The Ken bot, that's totally different thing. Ken was messaging me yesterday. While we were live, he's like, oh, he shared it with a couple of buddies on Twitter and they were going to retweet it for us. And I'm like, oh, dude, thank you. He's like, yeah, you got 50 people watching. I'm like, yeah, well, 50 is kind of like our average now, which for the record, all of you people who are here right now, we are surprised that it's going this well. Well, I'm surprised. Juan's like, yeah, no, I know, I'm awesome. So
no, I'm really surprised. Come on.
I was joking. But yeah, so then, you went from 50 to 140. I'm like, oh, there's the Ken bump. Jesus Christ. and again, like in the comments or what have you, like we absolutely love having you guys here. We want to be having the kinds of conversations that you think are going to benefit, the kind of larger community in the wax and soul scene, or like wherever, our projects and communities end up. So let us know. DM us, comment, whatever you want. If there's projects that you want to see on here, let me know and I'll chase them down and see if we can get them on. Anatopia, our episode with Waffles Kitty. If you don't own one of those little things, you should go buy them. They're adorable as hell. She came on about Anatopia, which is coming up pretty soon. That's going to be nuts. There's 110 projects. It's going to be, I'm excited to kind of dig back into that. It's going to be really cool. There's lots going on. And microcaps become medium caps, and medium caps become monsters. I'm guessing. Yeah. And now, is that wishful thinking? Maybe, but I mean, here we are. We're at this stage, and I think we can grow it. So we'll just keep doing that, see, and have fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So today was supposed to be. Oh, we didn't even talk about the. Have we talked about the fact that the bridge is live yet?
We mentioned that the bridge is live. Yes.
Okay.
We mentioned that the bridge is live, so you can move your wax from wax to Solana and back.
Only WUF. Yeah. Only WUF right now, I think.
Only WUF, yeah, sorry.
You
can move your WUF, not your wax, sorry.
Yeah. They get to the actual news at 36 minutes. So I tried it this morning on mobile. It didn't work. It might be working now. I don't know. But on web, I managed to get both my wallets attached on the Wax Cloud wallet. And then I moved some WUF over to Solana. Super fun. To my knowledge, the only fee TC is the Solana transaction thing that is like standard for all transactions on Solana. But yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, now I don't know. I haven't heard if anyone has tested coming the other way. So from like taking WUF from Solana over here, it looked. I think Dapper was saying you could do it. Like the mechanics were there, but I don't know that he's tried it yet. So we haven't confirmed that. But so if somebody does that and they find out, let me know.
But it's theoretically possible.
Right. Yes. 95. We're almost at 100 again. Thanks, guys.
Cool.
So you need Sol for transaction. I believe so. I think so.
Yes. Well, I think you have to claim on the Solana side. I haven't tried the bridge myself.
Yeah, no. So you do have to claim on that side. So it basically sets it up in their internal database with a memo and then claim. I think it was the same. If you bridged Ethereum Wax before last cycle when they were doing the staking over there and stuff, it's the same kind of
yeah, because on Solana there are some amazing bridges where you don't have to claim on the other side. They will directly send to the wallet that you specified. So I like those ones better. But
yeah. So there's a claim button. I had to, for the record too, like the claim button timed out twice. So apparently keep trying and it'll
that's Slowlana. Yeah. What can we do?
I can't believe I've never heard of that before. So your shit doesn't need to be perfect to be massive. So that's
that's even more incredible, ridiculous even. You know that Solana does not have mainnet. It's still beta.
What?
Yeah, it's still in beta.
How does it? What do you mean?
There, with that amount of total value locked, those millions that are there, it's still a beta product.
So does that mean it's like a private chain? Like how's the chain?
No, it's not a private chain. There are lots of validators and so on. But it's still labeled as beta. It's not stable. It's not stable. It's not.
It's never dull. That's it. And I mean, I guess where I keep going back to one is like, what is the fire that they caught in a bottle? Because I have friends that are like, hyper traders, financial nerds they keep talking about these other chains that I've never heard of, and their market caps are really tiny, and they definitely have all of these like super financial instrument tools or whatever, right? So all things being equal, why aren't they sold? Well, because they don't have meme token insanity. Like that, like what's the fire in the bottle is the sort of the thing that
let me ask you this. You must have heard about Axie Infinity, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now tell me, on which blockchain was it running?
Ethereum.
No.
It started on Ethereum, didn't it?
No.
What? Are you sure?
No, that's on Ronin. It's a blockchain special for games also, but you don't even know the name of the chain.
I mean,
And
dude,
that's
I don't know anything
okay,
about Axie
because
Infinity
you know the name of the game, and the game was the opportunity to make money, and that's what matters. Look at the success of Farmers World. You look at the success of Alien Worlds. The games mattered. The chain didn't.
So yeah, it's built on Ethereum blockchain where all game assets are tokenized and player owned. A lot of the game
No,
action happens on
it's
Ronin. I just
running.
googled it.
It's an EVM solution, whatever, but it's running.
All right.
It's running.
All I remember
running.
is I got sent an Axie Infinity NFT and it was on Ethereum back in the day. Oh yeah, they moved to Ronin. It started on Ethereum.
Yeah, maybe
Now,
they moved to running then.
but I know they definitely did. Like I remember when that happened. But yeah, and again, I wouldn't put a large bet on it, but like that's how I remember it. And seriously, but I think your point is well taken, right? Like at the end of the day, you know, what are people doing and having fun with? Do the farmers world thing, like
in the end, the blockchain is like the operating system. What matters is not the operating system. You don't care if you have a Mac or you have a PC. In the end, what you want is you want to be able to run your Photoshop, your Excel, your whatever tools you use.
Right. So you're making my argument for me. What's the fire in the bottle? Number go uppy. What makes number go uppy?
Opportunities.
More people. Right? Like those meme tokens, the fire that they caught in a bottle, in my humble opinion, is the fact that like you get 100 people who are like, oh my goodness, this freaking thing is absolutely hilarious and fun, and like maybe the number go up, maybe the number go down, and blah blah blah. Also, you can stake it, blah blah blah, woo woo woo, right? And then it goes to 100, right? And then suddenly everybody's like, holy, what? This meme token is ridiculous, and it just went up to 100. Let's go get 1,000 people, and then 10,000, and then 100,000. No market makers, no nothing, right? Like the actual fire is, you know, I've said this on live a billion times. Number of active wallets, number of transactions is going to give you a ballpark of the order of magnitude of what the price is going to be, right? So that requires nothing else except that why are people buying this thing? And for meme tokens, the only thing that I understand, and for real, like I could be wrong, I know swing traders are a totally different thing, but swing traders are also other places. So all other things being equal, the thing is that community tribal driven energy that is like bringing these people together under the banner of these goofball memes, which like fire that into my veins. I want to play in that playground.
Yeah.
What were you writing down? Can you tell me?
Oh, I had an amazing idea for yeah, but that's why I wrote it down. But I still have to validate a couple of things. So
all right, cool. So, and again, like I think this is going to be a conversation that's sort of ongoing, and then I work backwards from, you know, can I build all those amazing tools? No. So I think I'm probably biased towards, you know, what am I capable of doing, right? And you know, what I love to do is to, you know, talk about, you know, other projects and you know, if that get some more attention on, you know, the communities that I built and the projects that I'm doing, great. Like that's sort of like, that's really my only move. Yeah. It's like it's my go-to, right? And so, you know, and like watching what happened with Keck, you know, from 0 to 1, like that thing got moving. And I think like 1 to 2 is where we add a 0 to the market cap, and seeing that happen means that it'll happen again. Assuming that happens, and
assuming that
maybe it won't. I personally think that it will. Anything can happen. Period. Who knows, right?
But who knows?
But things are right, and that's just to understand the caveat emptor. You know, blah blah blah. Do your own research stuff. It's serious, but not blah blah blah. But you get, you know, you see my brain hit a brick wall there. That's what happened. But yeah, that's the fascinating bit of it, right? Because like, and I was there from, you know, TC, and I think there was one other guy that was in there. I can't remember who. It might have been Pig actually, who like saw this thing and like picked it up, and like TC told me about it. I think Dapper might have found out right around the same time, and then suddenly, and in my opinion, like you could have the wrong people pick it up, right? Because if somebody picked up, you know, 20% of the supply of that token and did nothing with it and just waited for other people to come in and sort of get excited about it and do it, they could basically smash it, you know, not permanently, but like, you know, that's the thing. I'm excited about, like, you know, the first thing that Dapper did with it was start giving it away because he understands how these things work and because he's a idiotically nice guy. Like it just that he gets off on that, right? And who wouldn't? It's really fun.
And you know, that's why I think you need the platforms that allow you to create fair launch token launches, and that's why I think you need market making, and you need a very well thought strategy to make sure that you will not immediately become a disappointment to your buyers,
Right.
to
Well, I
the
guess
people who's
the other thing
holding
is
the token.
98% of the things on those platforms on Sol are duds. There
Yeah,
is no
a
getting
lot, yeah,
around that, which is why
yeah,
like that rating system and having people be able to rate those kinds of things and the the groups that are making them or whatever, it becomes essential. And I think like whether we built it or somebody else did, like it's inevitable, it's necessary, it'll only make the space better. But
yeah.
that like I think again, what came first? All those things came first.
Yes, I agree. But one extra thing there is that having these kind of tools to check logs and all of that,
Yeah.
they don't even ensure you that you are investing in a project that will take off.
Oh,
You might
right.
it
Oh yeah.
might as well be something completely healthy with a very good will from the team and whatever,
Yeah.
and still be something that will never fly.
Thank you for that. And this is important. We talked about this yesterday. I think we're going to talk about it a lot, right? Like I talked about this
Yeah.
almost every freaking show for years in the last bull market. I really want people to internalize this and understand this. We are given the opportunity to play in some very, very interesting financial playgrounds because of Web3. If it weren't for Web3, if you wanted to start investing in Silicon startups, you need a $250,000 in the bank to talk to them, period. If you don't have that, go F yourself in the A. You're not allowed to do anything because you're a sophisticated investor if you have a $250,000, right? And obviously, like I know a lot of people who are very, very sophisticated that don't have that. But Silicon Valley, that's what you need, right? And the thing is,
Yeah.
they know in Silicon Valley, you're going to invest in 50 companies. 49 of them are going to face plant and go away. Well, given, right? And those people are in Silicon Valley for frick's sake, right? So the failure rate here is going to be around the same, and that's not people that are criminal and rugging. That's good teams that were trying their best and they failed, right?
Yeah.
Now that doesn't mean there aren't rugs. There are rugs. But the giving projects that are trying to do everything initially right and still don't make it is going to happen. It's going to happen.
Yes.
Right. And so like everybody just needs to understand that risk. And then if you're going to play in this playground, do it intelligently, because you're allowed to do it intelligently here if you want.
Yeah.
And someday I'm going to do that. In the meantime, I'm going to buy a bunch of Alien and Betsy NFTs, which for the record, I think is good for me. We'll find out. Not that it comes to just, once you know these communities, maybe that's a whole other story. But that risk assumption is just so important. And then knowing that, I think it's more fun, right? Like I'm not connected really, really deeply to whether, any one thing that I do, is gonna pan out from an investment point of view. Like if I buy this, rug NFT, which I didn't know what those were until today. Those are like weird and adorable. And apparently they're going to have a
those are really cool. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I'm just finding out about this now. But I could buy one of those things. Like, is it gonna moon in 10 years? I don't know. Like, who knows, right? But at the same time, like that's why I love to kind of get in on a lot of the projects. So anyway, and again, the more you diversify, the less you care about any one thing, which is good. Throwing Hail Marys will get you self-rugged, in my humble opinion. Like you might get lucky, go buy a lottery ticket. It's just as easy. Or just go buy Keck. In case that face wasn't that was a joke. Oh, I love the fudders. Anyway, so yeah, thank you, Juan, for all that stuff. Okay, before I forget, let's do we were gonna have Scran on today. He had to go take care of his dad. Which is the obvious priority. But he set this really cool thing up on Taco Venues. Let me share my screen here, where there's a bunch of Shibble packs in it. There's a bunch of Upliftium Degen packs where you can get either 1 or 2 million Upliftium, whatever. It's a fun little thing in this venue that he had over there. And like I had to ask him how to get to it. Like I'm so new on Taco. I'm like, what's a venue? I'm such a nerd. Anyway, so you go over there, you can get to the brigades, not venues. I clicked on venues, and that's where you would have your own venue if you had one, and I don't, so I was very confused. So you go to brigades, and then you can pick your venue. So you go down to, I think it's like branded Schipul right now. It's the Ant Colony. It's pretty easy to find. Oh yeah, you can see the Colony HQ up there with the little Schipul thing. So then you have to get some brigade stuff. And what he told me was, you want to go for luck. Again, I don't even know what that means, but so I bought a few NFTs he suggested. I think the bandana, the squeaky clean bandana. This is where like my wife's going to be walking by. Like, what the hell are you talking? So yeah, I got the 3 of the squeaky clean bandanas for like $2 each or whatever the hell they were. And then you can mine. Now, I've never done this before, so I don't even know what's going to happen. So, I don't know. Somebody blowing the dice. Rock and roll. Boop. I want to win something. Yeah, that was a success. You know it. Are we going to do this again? All right, cool. Funsies. All right. Great success. I got some shing. And is that it? All right, that's fun. All right, and then apparently the cooldown is like whatever these things have on there or whatever. Oh shit, they have a launch date for Chad. I thought they were gonna announce that on Saturday. Okay. All right, so again, keep an eye on these things. We're gonna do a bunch of different events on these venues. It's like probably worth getting like some of the brigade things if you can see them picking them up cheap or whatever. And we'll definitely have that in the Uplift Discord. I'll probably share it in the Keck channel where apparently all the cool kids hang out all the time. I'm there way too much, and I'm not cool, so that's a problem for them. Anyway, super fun, and we'll have Scrum on eventually to talk about the Ant Colony. Like, it really is a very cool community of people that have been playing, all of these games since the last bull market. They do a lot of battle miners, they do a lot of all sorts of stuff, and they're like genuinely good human beings. I know them really well. So anyway, Martian, are you trying to say that you want to drop the date for the Chad drop live on air right now? Because like, we love the alpha up in this weirdo. And again, like, Chad's gonna be a deflationary meme coin. It like, there's like one picture of the Chad, and it's hilarious, and I have it burned into my brain because Martian throws it in the Keck channel like every 5 seconds. It's worth it. It's pretty funny. And yeah, so I think, and Martian, could you throw the website that you guys built for it? I haven't actually been there yet, but like, I saw some of the tokenomics. It's very, very sort of Keck like. He's going to be doing a lot of airdrops, which I think is like, Martian actually has given away probably as much, almost as much, probably more than me, right? I'm going to be up to 2 trillion here, 2.5 trillion Keck before too long. Dapper, I don't even know how much he gave away. It's absolutely bananas. But I know like Martian's up there, like in the multiple trillions giveaways. And he's going to be airdropping, if I'm not mistaken, 2 trillion on the aliens. Which for the record is the only reason that I bought them, except that, now I want to get into this whole thing and see what's going on. But the Chad in advance, right? Like, this token is going to be, it's going to be nuts. All right, I got to check this out. So yeah, the that thinking ahead about those airdrops, I think it's really smart, right? Because like, Keck went from 0 to 1 because Dapper started giving it away. And also, like, while this is weird, but while TC was telling me about it, Dapper sent me some, like, in the same like 5-10 minute thing, right? And I'm like, what is this? I thought TC sent it to me while we were talking about it. Nope, Dapper did it, right? And he sent it to like 80-90 of his favorite weirdos on Wax or whatever. And that's sort of like, wait a minute, like, I'm trying to drive value to these land and rail NFTs, and like right now their kind of use case is a little bit quiet. It won't be for long, but it is, right? So why don't I just figure out how to drop to 20,000 NFTs? Which was fun, right? So that was a good time. So the Martian's doing this in advance, right? You're gonna own some of his alien NFTs if you want, and then some of that's gonna go to there. And also, like, I want to try and pick up some Chad and airdrop it to my to the 10s. Did I mention that it's a really good idea to blend Upliftium to the 10 million Upliftium NFTs? Did I mention that today? Probably not.
Not today, but you mentioned that every day.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Consistency is important. Not that I'm airdropping to them tonight, but I am. So anyway, we have news. Here's the news. 52% IDO Alcor swap on May 1. ChadLabs.io is going to be the website. You can take a look at it. And again, like, this is kind of the second one of these that our little family of weirdos is kind of taking a look at. And that IDO, like, I think it's going to be, here's the minute that it drops and everybody bangs in. Some people are going to get lucky, some aren't. It's to me, that's like exciting and kind of insane, frankly. Like, that first hour is going to be bonkers, right? Like, as it sort of finds its level, it's going to swing all over the place. Wax is going to slow down, and people are going to be banging their freaking keyboards. Probably by people, I mean me, right? So it's going to be an event. There's going to be some juice there, and we're going to find out what happens, right? Are we going to break shit? Is stuff going to go weird? Whatever. like, you know, it's going to be new for me anyway, right? Like that. The Keck one was kind of stealth. Nobody knew about it, and then TC found out. Have I thanked TC yet? I'm just kidding. I know I have. But yeah, so I think it's gonna be really interesting. And then of course the airdrops are gonna come after that. 4% burned every transaction. I think some's gonna go to the team, some goes to rewards, and some gets burnt. Right, very Keck like. So yeah, no, it's gonna be interesting. I want some. And again, like, well, I guess part of the reason too, like the Martian's been around for a minute, right? He's docs, he's got a show. So he's sort of got a collection on Wax, right? So like he's already got kind of tendrils in the community, which I think is an interesting base to build off of, right? And again, you know, we're gonna see if it works. And again, it might do well for a minute, it might not, whatever. I think longer term, these things are gonna be interesting because they're deflationary, right? Assuming that, you know, Martian doesn't get hit by a freaking meteor or something and go away and become less interesting, right? So we'll see. So yeah, he's throwing a lot of this stuff in the comments. You can just go to the website, but like 20% stake in rewards. I'm assuming that's for liquidity. So 8% team allocation locked for a year. I like that lock. That's cool. That's smart. Anyway, so yeah, 20% for expansion to other chains. I love the idea that people are thinking in terms of it's going to be kind of obvious that we're going to expand to other chains. I have some different thoughts about that as of recently, but I think it's fun that people are thinking that way. Like that WUF bridge is, you know, it's. I mean, we're gonna see what happens, but it feels like it could be this fat pipe between, you know, two ecosystems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we have to see is that bridge going to be open for more tokens, or it's a WUF exclusive? Yeah, that's something we'll have to see how it evolves.
That's interesting. So like from a Wax perspective, and like they started WUF, right? Like that's the team or whatever, right?
I don't know.
Oh, all right. I thought it was like Wax team centric, but well, okay. Well, I don't know that for a fact or even anything more than a rumor. So take that for what it's worth. Nothing. So I'm trying to figure out like what's their vested interest in starting to make sure that lots of different tokens could do that. Now, like if it was me and I was the Wax team and I wanted to benefit the Wax community, you know, I'd be opening it up to the Sol tokens, like maybe only.
Yeah, I think that you might want to open for certain tokens, but not every token will be interesting, I think, because you have to make sure that you're not opening a bridge for a rug pull or for a big scam or whatever. So
for sure,
you have to be very careful with that.
Right. No, that makes sense to me. So then you sort of like hit, you know, I mean, like I would imagine, you know, they like TLM's been around for a long time. People have different feelings about how they're doing it or what they're doing or what it's evolved into. Honestly, I haven't caught up. I don't know. But like TLM's legit as a token, right? There's a lot going on there.
Absolutely.
It's been around for a long time, right? So you sort of see, you know, and I think they linked over to Binance last cycle, right? So like that might be plausible or whatever. Well, and like Pixel Journey, that PXJ token, in the really high up in the top 10 consistently. I can't wait to have them on the show. They're doing some very, very interesting things that I don't know anywhere near enough about, right? So, you know, again, like when they get big enough, the Nefty token is freaking, you know, epic. It's been around for a long time. You know, there's going to be more use cases for it all the time, right? Like, again, like not a rug, right? Like the team is very doxed and very, you know, fun people named Juan and Jose and others in their team, whatever, right? And I mean, Wombat, like when is Adrian and Atomic gonna say, hey, like, you know, can we do Wombat over there? Because I mean, they have that whole gaming environment and all that kind of stuff, right? So like you could sort of, I'm sort of imagining like if it was me, you know, making those decisions, kind of what would I be looking at? Get into the top 10. So Schipul on Sol, everybody, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, but what I mean is the bridge belongs to the Wax team. The bridge is part of the Cloud wallet. So
yeah,
that's okay. Right. But and WUF, it's being breached. But I think the Wax team has to be very careful. Who are they going to allow to be part of that? If at all they are adding more tokens. I don't know what's the policy, to be honest. Right. I don't know. So that's
is there Do you think, and Keck, if you're watching or listening, uh, looking at the way that they've done that contract, right? Like you link your wallets, that's going to be an internal database for them, and so they've got the ability to attach your wallet address on Sol to your Wax address here, right? And so it basically will run a script here saying, it runs a transaction, putting it into that pool. So you're sending wealth, it goes into this pool. That's a transaction. On that transaction memo, I looked at it today, is your Sol wallet. Fine. Now in their database, it runs another script on Sol that says, okay, here's our pool of stuff here. It goes to boop, 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 and sends out another transaction. So to me, why isn't somebody else building that?
Because breaches are, I think, one of the most hacked and attacked
they're
places
scary, right?
on a blockchain.
Yeah.
So,
that's why.
So that's why,
Why.
you have to go through audits and you have to make sure that your breach is really secure. And even then, there's a constant risk of someone finding a vulnerability,
right,
and being able to screw a lot of people.
Right. So I wonder, like, the vulnerability must be sort of like off-chain server side, like that position, the sort of moment between the transaction that puts it in their pool here, trustless blockchain, blah 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 blah, and then that thing that sends a message to their system on Sol that does a transaction there. If you interrupt that, you could basically just smash that pool or whatever.
Well, I don't remember exactly how many of the hacks have happened, but yeah, there are.
I know it's scary. Like that, every time I've talked to anybody who's been thinking about bridges, they're like, oh. And I mean, when we bridged Shipple from EOS, this is in our Bull Shipples episode, from EOS over to Wax, we did it manually. And we only had like 200 holders. This is not like a big thing.
But that's the point. That's if you can do it manually and you know all your holders, then it's okay.
Well,
that's not scalable. That's not really something that you can do.
It doesn't scale at all. But if there's an NFT bridge, actually, Piga brought this up, I think. Please yell at me if I'm wrong about this. You launch an NFT over there, right? And people buy it, do whatever, blah 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 blah, or like you buy an NFT over here, you send the NFT over there, and use that NFT over there as a claim. Boom.
Yeah, but it's still a bridge.
Right. But it's their bridge. They ran it. We didn't. Right? Like you can supposedly send NFTs on their bridge. So couldn't you use that as a proxy?
Well, you could think of many ways of using it, but the thing is that you're moving NFTs.
Right. Yeah, but like that NFT is just a marker. If you can burn an NFT and get Shipple, or if you can burn an NFT and get Nefty.
Yeah, absolutely. But it can get hacked anyway. It's not because a non-fungible token that it's not going to be hacked. In the end, you have very similar vulnerabilities.
Right. No, I'm saying like they've done the audit on the NFT transfer. Right. So like, again, like, so forget us building a bridge, which honestly I knew before I asked the question was insane. But like the NFT bridge thing, apparently already haven't tested it, but it's supposed to exist, right? You're supposed to be able to take an NFT.
Well, we have one bridge. We have one NFT bridge that allows you to move NFTs to Polygon and bring them back to Wax. Okay. We already have that, and Betsy's you can move there, and Wombat uses those. So the Betsy's, you can use the Betsy's on Polygon to play play Wombat over there.
Red team this.
And by the way, they give you amazing rewards.
Go on. Red team this for me. So we have an NFT collection over here and an NFT collection over there. Effectively separate, branded the same, fine, right? We say you buy this NFT over here with our token, whatever it is. You buy this NFT with this token. Cool. You take that NFT over to the other chain through the Wax audited bridge. You burn that NFT over there. You get the token over there. It's like, it seems no less secure than anything we do every day.
It's not more secure than everything we do every day anyway.
So would the fail point
but I think it's less secure.
Would the fail point be their bridge?
Yeah, I don't know how those their bridge work, but yeah.
So like I'm just trying to figure out, like, so there's like different states, right? state one, you have an NFT over here. We find that to be
Yeah,
secure, right? Cool. Okay, state two is that NFT is in the process of moving to Solana, right? And that's a bridge. It's not just a trustless blockchain, right?
But
So there's
is there a
complexities
bridge?
there.
Is there an NFT bridge to Solana?
That's what I'm saying. Yes,
Yeah.
it's listed there now. Is it active right now? But like that's what I'm saying. We haven't tested it. Assuming that it like the button's there. Like, does it work? I don't know yet. But like assuming that it does, that's kind of where I'm kind of coming at it from.
Okay.
Right? Not the us bridging it, them bridging the NFT. So like kind of operating under the assumption that that bridge is probably as secure as taking WUF back and forth, just as an example.
Yeah.
Right? I could be wrong about that. I don't know the details, but like that's sort of
but let's say that it should be. If that's the case,
right?
It should be as secure as
sending WUF.
Yeah.
You send an NFT over there, you bring the NFT, you got the token over there. Suddenly everything is bridgeable all the time.
Might be.
Maybe.
Still to be confirmed.
Yeah, TBD. So if when somebody tells me that they have successfully sent an NFT over there, fucking let us know. Because I think that might end up being really interesting, right? Because like the Chad wants to send a bunch of supply over there. Honestly, Shipple probably would. And I think at some point we might want to take Lifteum over there. Who knows, right? Like I'm not really worried about that right now. We have too much work to do here, but it's if that's a thing that could just suddenly happen, then I think it opens up a lot of crazy whoop ass. And then if you could sell NFTs over there for this token that you just launched on a launchpad, that man, it's too bad we don't really have like a good launchpad on on Wax.
Come on, Corey, you have to focus here.
Oh, believe me, I'm focused. All the things are just one thing. This is the reason why we're laughing is because like I woke up first thing in the morning. I'm still in bed. I haven't had any coffee yet. I had this conversation with Keck last night about some of the stuff. We're talking to him after the show. They're like, hey, we need a launchpad. Like we should just build one right now. And by we, I mean Jose, because I can't build shit. Just as long as we're on the same page. And so and Juan I mean, this is why collaborating with you is so much fun. Instantly starts red teaming, which is exactly what you want in a good collaborator. Like and if anyone doesn't know what red teaming is like finding, where does this go wrong? Is this really a priority? Is it should we be pivoting right now? It's not like we don't have other shit to do, right? And for me, I look as far upstream as I could possibly look and go, okay, where do we build the simplest thing that will have the most ramifications downstream? And so that's why I've been beating this thing like a drum since sort of that's why we're laughing about it. But yeah, so it's interesting. And then token launches are going crazy on Sol. Token launches are going crazy here. And then where I think there could be massive leverage for Nefty is that like it's NFTs are your jam. You guys are so good at it. The blends are amazing. All the different capacities for blends and packs and just like I love that system. I haven't used anything else for a long time. And that's not to say anything against like what's the other one? The NFT freaking. I was just over there. The honey one.
NFT Hive.
NFT Hive. Duh. The honey one. NFT Hive. I interviewed those guys a bunch of times. They did a bunch of amazing things last time. They still are, right? Atomic Hub, Age is a really good friend of mine. So like we're all as a Wax thing, like pretty good at this whole NFT thing, right? So the ability to then do some wonderful whiz bang crazy shit between the token launchpad that whoever builds it, somebody has to, right? It's one of those obvious things that's going to happen. And whether it's the Nefty team first or not, it's going to happen, right? There's actually multiple on Solana now. Asvoria, what Ken and Russell Chorus have been working on. They went from building an Unreal 5 kind of metaverse that you can't really do anything in if you're like a normal person yet. Like someday they'll figure it out. But it's always been like that. It's been like that for 3 years. But they pivoted to making what was it? Oh yeah, no, a meme coin launchpad on Solana years after the fact, right? So there's still apparently a market for it, which is kind of interesting to me, right? So like that's you ride the wave you're on, and right now we're hopefully on a meme token wave right now. Anyway, so I've been beating this drum a little bit pretty hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole idea that like yesterday bridging tokens was not impossible. And this is a big if until it's not, if you can send any old NFT from a collection over here to a collection over there, like Bob's your uncle, kind of.
Yeah, that should work.
Also, like Bob's your uncle is a weird saying. Just apropos of nothing. I just said it, and after that, I'm like, if I didn't understand the context of that, I was like, what is this weird old man saying? I haven't been old very long one. I'm just getting used to it. It's new. Anyways,
Yeah.
So this is again the best 15-minute episode we've ever done.
Yeah, this 15-minute episode, I think we're going for 1 hour 15 minutes now.
Yeah, it was aspirational. That's just for those of you guys watching right now, all 127 of you. By the way, thank you. And for the people that are sharing, we see you. We really appreciate it. Even just the selfishly the ability to have these conversations and explore these ideas with you is just, for me, price of admission, so good. If we can be of any use to anybody else that's sort of contemplating these things and wondering what should happen, good. I mean, that's anything, if we're as a community of projects, which is what Juan and I like love more than anything else, it's just like if we love seeing everybody else succeed, and helping them if we can, and creating that sort of rising tide, frankly, that ends up helping everybody. It's just a huge fan. This is just, that's what gets me up in the morning, and then keeps me up at night, actually. Sleep has been troubling. There's too many things in the brain. It's been amazing. So it's been an awesome ride, and I keep joking about the 15-minute episodes because I regret nothing.
Same.
All right. So Keck, if you're watching, we're 10 minutes late for our meeting. Not that we're having a meeting with Keck to talk about some crazy shit, but we are. That's what we're doing. Marcin, thank you very much for dropping news. The Chad drop's going to be May 1st. I suppose we'll find the time. You're gonna have to watch this show probably 5:00 Saturday on his channel. I'd say, like, if you're not in the Keck Telegram chat, it's not a terrible place to be. Generally speaking, it's really fun and goofy because, of course, it's a thing about a frog. But yeah, so that chat thing's gonna be interesting. Don't know how it's gonna go. I'm gonna participate. It's best case scenario, it's gonna be entertaining. So that should be fun.
Will be fun.
It's gonna be fun and educational. Yeah. We will learn things. And when Moon, the Chad. Just want to put Chad in a rocket, kick him off. Anyway, so yeah, tomorrow, Betsy show. Oh, huge thanks to Scron for agreeing to come on. He couldn't come on for really good reasons. He's taking care of his dad. If you check out the Colony Discord, amazing group of people. The venue's awesome. It's giving out a bunch of Shipple and Uplift packs and stuff. It's really fun. And tomorrow, Betsy, let's get into it, because I'm new to this Betsy community. If that blend for Commanders is going to be live, I want in. And honestly, like, we have to talk about, like, the whole idea that you can there's that thing on Nefty on your profile page that I haven't used yet, right, where you can kind of show off NFTs.
Highlight your NFTs.
Yeah. So end result for me tomorrow, I want to dress up one of my Betsies, and you said, like, eternalize. So basically, you're baking it, and it's like forever that way. Is that what you mean by that? Okay. Yeah. That's exactly. And then throw it up on my page so everybody can see what kind of weird lady NFT I want to make and why I would do it. So yeah, that tomorrow's show, I'm excited about that. And again, the possibility that things are going to airdrop to Betsy's, I would put at 110%. I don't know anything officially. I'm making that up. But again, I would bet heavily that this is the case. We'll find out what they are. It's going to be fun at the very least. Thank you guys so much for watching. 130 people here after a few weeks is just, we're kind of over the moon about it.
It's our 19th episode now.
Is it 19 now?
19 today, yes. Yeah.
It feels like it was 10 minutes ago, man. Or a year.
Yeah, true.
Depending on how you look at it. Yeah. We've seen a year of stuff, and it was an hour ago. It's huge. Again, Marcin, you should come on our show too, man. Like just let's book it for next week. We'll have a conversation about the Chad. By the way, what was that website again? I want to actually check that. I'll put it up here for a second. Chad Labs. Chadlabs.io. There you go. 52% going out on IDO, which is basically going to be a bunch of lunatics playing jump ball, is how I sort of envision this in my head. Is that accurate? Do you know what jump ball is? Not knowing is perfectly fine. It's basketball. I barely know what it is. Anyway, tell us on Twitter what bags you are holding. Go to @NFG Show on Twitter and tell us what you're holding. And pimp your shit. I want to learn all about it. And yeah, wax whole ecosystem to the moon, please and thank you. We'll see you guys tomorrow. The Betsy Show is going to be freaking awesome. You can buy them for Nefty, by the way. I'd go get one in like a pack or something, and then maybe you can play along. We'll see how that goes, and we'll have fun. Everybody have an awesome freaking day. Juan, do you have anything else?
Nothing else. I think you said it all.
I talk a lot. That's true. I was like twice during the show. I'm like, okay, so you gotta sometimes shut the hell up because like Juan has some things to say, and so because of the delay, I sort of like I wait a second and then I just start talking again. But like the delay, you don't know that. You're probably still listening to this asshole talk a bunch of times. So like I'm learning. I need to leave more space for Juan because you're a goddamn genius. All right, goodbye.